Okay guys, so we're going to actually switch it up a little bit in this one. We're going to get rid of these top navigation here, and also we're going to get rid of this signed in if they're signed in. If they're not signed in, we're just going to display this. So if they're signed in, we'll show some text. If they're not, we'll display for them to actually sign in. Of course, that will probably just be on the home page, but let's do that. So we'll go into Komodo Edit, and we have this sign in form over here. So we'll say if request.user.is authenticated. We're going to display some text, and then otherwise display that form. So we'll do end if, save it, and then let's go back into Chrome, refresh, cool, goes away. So the text, we're actually going to use this text here. So it's the navbar text. Just going to grab this here, and we're going to go back into our template, and we're going to put if they're authenticated, and we'll put poll right because we want it to go to the right, and we'll signed in as, let's just do request user, and refresh. Cool. We could even say just the request user. There we go. Maybe eventually we'll put a drop down there, but for now that looks okay. And then we want to just get rid of this stuff, and we're going to put a search bar up here. We're not going to have all those other things. Even home is going to go. We're just going to leave the logo, just kind of like how Facebook does it. I mean, we don't really need to go all out with this URL list. So we'll jump into our components tab here, and we're going to have the search bar go right into the form just like this. Excuse me, right into the nav bar. So you can just grab that entire thing, just copy that, come back in here, and we can put it right under navbar collapse. I actually want to clean this up a little bit so we can read it a little bit better. There. So now we have our form group, and that's our text and all that. So we can go back in here, do a quick refresh. So when you see something like this happen, there's a good chance that our CSS is out of date. That means we might need to grab a new version of it. So going back into Bootstrap, we can re-download Bootstrap. And this will happen sometimes. So when you run into issues again like that, it might just be because they decided to update Bootstrap, and you're looking at components for a new version. So download that new version, go into dist, then to CSS, and then we're going to grab these bottom two Bootstrap ones. So go into your files, go into static, and then we're going to drop this into CSS. Replace, get rid of that. Okay, so then back into here, refresh. Uh-oh, looks like we really messed up. We really didn't. So if we go back into components and we look at our navbar, our default navbar, it actually changed a little bit. If you look at the very top, it says nav class, and then if we go into Komodo Edit and see ours, it says div class. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change everything that's above brand here, because we don't want to change it to their brand. And our brand is right here, so we will change all that, paste it, and then we want to change a few things underneath it. So we want to close that out. If we notice on ours, we don't have a closeout of a div, so let's do that. That closes out that div right there. Cool. The next thing we want to do is we want to get this new type of collapse. Just grab that and paste this in, save it. Now we'll go back in, do a refresh. Uh-oh, looks like we have some issue here. I can already tell that it looks like we did not close something. We did not close a tag correctly. So let's go back in here. So remember how we changed that to nav. Let's scroll to the bottom. Oh, we didn't close out the nav. So let's close that, save it, go back. Cool. So that type of error that you just saw is as a result of that. but we were working in black before. So what we want to add is navbar inverse. Oops, change default to inverse. And we want it to be fixed top. There we go. Cool. So now we have our search bar here, and we have this other stuff. We want to actually get rid of those links because we don't need them, or at least I'm not going to use them. If you guys want to, you can use them at another time, but we can just just go in here and just delete that. If you ever forget and you want to bring it back or something like that, you can just come here for reference. This is what this is for. It's a very good reference tool. Of course, you could rewatch this video, but seeing this will give you the most up-to-date information because they do change Bootstrap relatively often. They've changed it even since we started recording this video. If you go to getbootstrap.com, you'll see this. All right, so that is our navigation. Do a little refresh. Now we have our search and everything like that. It doesn't look exactly like how we had it before, which we can change. So let's do that. And it's pretty simple to do. All we just do is add this new div class equals container, and we put that closing div down here at the bottom. So it wraps the entire thing. Go back into our template, and then if we do a refresh, you will see that the container is equivalent to what's below. And if you notice, this edge here is what's lining up with that edge. So that's kind of where that is. Of course, we could put a background to something like this so you can see it a little bit better, but it is lined up nice and neat. And you can even tell down here. Cool. So that is updating our nav bar a little bit and adding the search and all that. So if we log out, now it has this, which is exactly what we want. But of course, we will actually make that work another time.